As we use these block statements, what happens if we declare a variable inside of a block? Well, it turns out that variables that are declared inside of a block are only visible within that block. They're not visible beyond the scope of that block. And in fact, this idea of where a variable is visible is known as the variable scope. So let's take a look at some code. So I've got code set up here where I initialize students to 30 and rooms to 4. And so I put an if statement in place where I want to just make sure that rooms is greater than 0. And I open it up with my bracket, meaning I want to create a block, so I have a closing bracket to close the block. And inside of there, I print out students and rooms, and then I declare a float called average, which has a result of students divided by rooms. Now, if I then, outside the if block, attempt to print out average, I actually get a compile error, because once I leave that block, average no longer exists. But notice that variables can come into the block, right? I've got students declared before the block started, and students is valid to use within the block, right? Same thing is true for rooms. And so the way it works is that variables that are in scope when the block starts remain in scope. But variables that are created within the block go out of scope at the end of the block. So the way I would have to fix this code is I'd have to do one of two things. I'd have to declare average before the start of the block, so move it up before the if, or I can move the print statement inside the block while average is still available.